Hi, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm creating a project using a new to me stamp company called Pink Ink Designs. They have very detailed, big, beautiful stamps. These are acrylic stamps. Scrapbook.com just got these in. I also wanted to mention that a lot of my video today is not a voiceover, so if there's a fluctuation in volume, I do apologize. But let's get started. So I just purchased these awesome stamps from Scrapbook.com. They're Pink Ink Designs. And today I'm going to be doing the elephant. This is a very big stamp. This is an acrylic stamp, first of all, but it is humongous. So just the elephant on this is about 6.5, and then at the widest, it's about 5.5. No, that's wrong, Jen. Yeah, it's about 6.5 by 5.5 or something like that, just for the elephant portion. This canvas right here is an 8 by 10. So you can see an 8 by 10 really compared to a 4.25 by 5.5. This is the card base that is most used in card making, but as you can see, that would definitely not fit on there. It would probably fit on a bigger card base or even a custom size, but I bought this one, and it comes with several different stamps. I also bought a dragon, a mermaid. So the dragon, as you can see, these are all very big stamps. Mermaid, and that one is huge. It's probably the biggest one that I purchased. And then the so adorable giraffe right here, so cute, and that one's pretty big. However, this will fit on a card base. It's just his neck would be cut off. And then these are smaller stamps, so like the seahorse would definitely fit on a card base, no problem. But it's really cute. It's got a little starfish and some fish. And then this one is called Camper Van, and it's a groovy little van, and that will fit on a card base as well. And I did go ahead and do a kind of painting, I guess. I will probably end up masking that off or something. I did stamp this with VersaFine in my Tim Holtz stamp positioner because it's the biggest one I have. And I just let it dry overnight just to make sure. What I'm going to be using is Tombows, and I will probably be using these without water. I do have some water set aside just in case, but this is a watercolor panel. I believe I picked this up either on Amazon or just a local craft store like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or Joann's. And so these are the colors that I'm going to be using right here. I'm not really sure how I'm going to color it. I don't want it to be too bold, which is why I picked a bunch of pastels. But I'm just going to go and show a little bit of the coloring. I just kind of wanted you to see the stamps, and these stamps are wonderful for, you know, decorative projects around the house or to give us gifts, to frame and stuff like that. They can also be used on cards. You just have to make the card a little bit bigger than the normal card base. So the colors, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of go over the black lines. I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy, or I'm just going to be doing some faint coloring. I really love the package coloring. The image that they have on the package it's just not over the top. It's kind of just muted. And the reason I'm not watering these down so much is because, let me see if I can get this to zoom in. Hopefully you can see that. The reason I'm not watering this down is because it will take the color from the marker totally away. And so that's why I'm just doing some very faint coloring. And I know when I was looking these stamps up, I know there's a lot of people that do them on like the embroidery hoop type of thing with the canvas stretched on it, just because they are so big. And so basically all I'm doing is going over and kind of tracing over the lines. And later I'll go in with the darker color. There's several sections where music plays and I fast forward the coloring just so you can kind of see. One of those is coming up. If you want to fast forward past the coloring, it's about 6:15, I believe. So I brought in this color, where's it at? I brought in number 403 to go around and kind of do the shadows a little bit. This stamp is included in the stamp set, and I'm just taking my VersaFine, and I'm not super concerned about having it straight or, you know, having a good pattern. I am fine if it's not perfect. I'm just trying to not get this panel dirty. So I'm just going to stamp this. And this actually works a lot better than the positioner. When I did the elephant, I did the positioner and I had to stamp it many times. But since this is so, you can put so much pressure on it, it's quite fine. So I'm just gonna do the one side. And like I said, I'm not super concerned about it being perfect. And then I will do the other side. And I think that I'm going to leave it just on the top and the bottom. I don't want to clutter it any more than it already is. I haven't quite figured out exactly these stamps, which are this one right here and the star. I want to use those, but I haven't figured out my background yet, so I'm not really sure where I want to place them. And I've gone ahead and I've added stickles to several areas of this canvas. Unfortunately, it's very hard to see in the pictures and during the video, but in person it looks really cool because there's a lot of sparkle to it. And the stickles that I'm using for this is the unicorn stickers. Stickles. And I go around, and I also at the end I kind of go over a little bit more after I finished all of the coloring, but I do color the top and the bottom, and you will see me start on that portion. So I've gone ahead and I've done a few different things. I've stamped those. I'm gonna go ahead and finish. If you can see the bottom right here, I went ahead and I did the colors of 725 and I don't remember actually. I think it was this, no. I think it was the 403. And this color. I think these are so, and then a black also. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. I'm just going to show you what I did. I'm not going to show the whole thing. So all I did was color in the top and the bottom. with the black, and then took my paintbrush, and this paintbrush is probably a little too big. So I'm just going and filling that in, kind of blend it out, bring it to the center. Careful not to get into that black too much. So I'm just going to do this all the way across. And then I'll put the blue on the bottom. So I use my Tombows again and to color the stamps, and all of the stamps that you see on there, with the exception of the elephant, are all, let me start over. Not with the exception of the elephant. The little starbursts and the stars are all just colored on the stamp with the Tombow marker. The one that you can see up in the right hand corner didn't turn out that well, so I do. The great thing about watercolor, especially on canvas, is that you can put a lot of water on it and kind of blot that color up, and a lot of it will come up, which I found very helpful in doing this. This is the first time that I've done any kind of stamping on a watercolor panel, and in fact the first time I've used a watercolor panel. I absolutely love it though, and I think that I will do a lot more projects like mixed media and just like gift giving or home improvement projects. Not home improvement, but home decor projects. There's so much that you can do, so much more you can do when you add in something like this, as far as putting art in your house. So I love this. I am so happy that I was able to do this. At any rate, the great thing about using the Tombows on the stamps is that you can kind of bring the color out. So that's what I'm doing here, is just kind of bringing that color out in areas that didn't stamp very well. And I'm just trying to show you the stickles, and I know I can't get it, but it's pretty much complete. Next I'm just going to do the sentiment. And the sentiment is a Pinkfresh Studios die. The name of the die is Beautiful Word. I go ahead and take some black cardstock and layer that, and use my red top glue to go ahead and adhere several pieces together. And then I use this sentiment. It's just a sticker. It's a Tim Holtz metallic word sticker. I believe there was a full sentiment, and I just cut out the Make Today. So the sentiment is Make Today Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the canvas. This project was so fun, and I thought it was a great thing to be able to sit here and take a stamped image and make my own art, basically, that I can use to either give as a gift, frame it and give as a gift, or to use in my home. I'm going to make a set of 3 of these to use as an art piece in my house. I will go ahead and make process videos for each of those because they're going to be different than this elephant one. But it was awesome to be able to take a stamp, and really you can take any stamp that you have in your stash to create your own art without being an artist. So it was very cool. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it or found it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope to see you next time.